Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Bryce Koon, and this is the Crowded Booth, the Week 1 preview and prediction show here on a Thursday night. A different time, a different day than originally anticipated, but we are here talking college football as college football is currently going on across the country. We'll have more action tomorrow night, obviously Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Tune in, Ralph Leary and Will Manis. My name is Bryce Koon. We will catch you here on the other side of this beautiful song from the velvet voice of Richard Leary.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
There we go. Does that sound a lot better, Ralph?
It's a lot better.
10 times better. All right, we welcome you in. My name is Bryce Koon alongside Ralph Leary and Will Manis as we get ready to talk a little bit of college football here on a Thursday evening. Now, listen, college football started last week. You guys did a fantastic job last Thursday of talking about Farmageddon, talking about some of the other games, Stanford, Hawaii. I mentioned this, I think, on the show on Monday. I was at dinner with some work people, and they were like, Bryce, why are you live right now? What's going on there? But you guys carried the show last Thursday. Lots to talk about this week. Lots to talk about next Monday, and we'll be live when I think a game's going on, TCU, North Carolina, there on Monday. Not spoiling anything, but we'll be live. All right, let's talk college football, though, here. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the stream. Lots of news coming out. We're talking 3 different games we're going to pick. Games to watch, and then we'll get into our best bets of the week. Reminder, everyone is 1-0 across the board after week number 0. As fellas, week 1 is here. There's no more waiting. There's no more talking. Will, we'll start with you. Tomorrow night, around this time, brother, you're going to have a pretty good idea of, well, I guess it'll be around halftime. What time's it? Right. Probably around
8 o'clock.
Halftime?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So, yeah, you'll be an hour into your feeling of the Auburn Tigers. We'll see if you're wearing that hoodie on Monday or not, I guess, after what happened.
I'm sure I'll be screaming for John Summerall in 24 hours.
We're
We're not off to a good start. We're not off to a good start. I'm very, very angry at Boise State. And a lot of my thoughts about Boise State, I'll probably have the same thoughts about Auburn in 24 hours. So
there you go. That's okay.
The season hasn't started, and I'm prepared to just punt already.
Just punt on the season. Just completely punt on the season. I saw, by the way, if you're not familiar, welcome in. What we do is we do a best bet. Dr. Bob, who's in the comments already, keeps a tally, a spreadsheet. This is his 3rd year doing it as the resident Crowded Booth intern, and we decided
to Dr. Bob, though.
Oh yeah. It's interesting down over there. Don't fight on the Fighting Miles McCluskey's. Go Elon, go Phoenix. No, but in all seriousness, we keep a tally.
So concerned about players that don't play for their favorite team anymore. Well, I don't understand that.
Dr. Bob has 14 favorite.
Well, Dr. Bob is, in fairness, a fan of everybody. He's omnipresent.
I'm just talking in general.
Just in general.
I'm just talking in general.
So, anyways, the college football landscape where we're going this year, there's been tons of conversation around it, but we finally don't have to talk about conference realignment. We finally don't have to talk about this or that. We get to talk about actual college football games this week, fellas. Like I said, we got 3 games we're going to pick from. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. What is the plan, though, before we start off? What is the plan for this weekend? Will, I know you've got a seat in front of the TV tomorrow night for Auburn Baylor. I imagine you'll be keeping up a little bit with Georgia Tech and Colorado as well.
I'll probably watch more of that game than I will the Auburn game if I had to make a prediction.
Saturday, what's the plan? Are you hitting up one of the games in Atlanta this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be at both games.
Both games. Syracuse and Tennessee.
Tennessee on Saturday and South Carolina, Virginia Tech on Sunday afternoon.
What time's the game on Sunday afternoon?
3:00.
3:00 local time. Interesting. Ralph, what's the plan for you this weekend? Where are you watching games, and what's the spread look like?
I think we're watching the Auburn game tomorrow night with my dad, my parents' house. Probably, I think he mentioned something about cooking wings. I don't know if we're doing that anymore. Especially rain, so probably not. Saturday, probably bounced around from my parents' house to some friends' house, watch the games there, and just hang out, watch some good football, and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Nice. Can't hate it. Can't hate against it. It can be a fun weekend, a loaded weekend, that's for sure. All right, let's talk a little bit of games. Let's preview some games here as well. And let's get to game number 1 here on the docket. Dr. Bob says spreadsheet is updated. Bryce, it is shared with you on the Google Drive. We will definitely take a look at that here after the show and put in our best bets.
How many weeks
We've got the graphic.
13?
What is that?
There's 13 weeks.
Yeah, because we'll do conference championship week.
1-12 incoming. Here we go. Somehow won. I got so lucky.
We all got lucky.
Last week in Farmageddon, so I'm sure the rest of the season is not going to go that way.
We all got
wild
lucky
comments in the chat, by the way. I don't know what in God's name that is about. That's interesting. That's wild. I don't know who that is. Do you, Will?
I do know who that is.
You know who that is? Okay. Anyways, let's get to game number 1 on the docket. It is the big one. Addie put in her pick today. We'll be posting that tomorrow at noon.
I'll be tailing Addie this week. So you know,
yeah,
right
Addie,
now.
by the way, Addie
killed me
ball.
last week.
She knows ball. It was crazy. Texas at Ohio State, fellas. I mean, this is one that ever since the end of last season, we've talked about, what this game can mean. You're going to have 2 brand new quarterbacks there, but obviously it's one of those things where these 2 teams played each other. And Ohio State had the big win there in the playoff last year, able to win in 28-14. Great semifinal game, and we get to do it again here in week number 1 of college football. The biggest thing I'll say about this game is these are 2 very different teams from when we last saw them play in terms of what they have on the roster, the quarterback position as well. Julian saying for Ohio State, Arch Manning. This has been pretty good here as well. Let's talk Arch Manning here for a second. There hasn't been a lot of negative words said about Arch, I would say, over the course of the last 8-9 months since we really hit the offseason. I understand it. You look at the raw talent. He obviously has it. I will say this, and we'll open up the conversation on Arch here for a second. With Arch Manning, it's one of those things where the pressure and the media hype that surrounds him is really due to the last name and his talent. Like, he's talented. But you can kind of tell the way he handles himself. Like, it's not one of those guys where you look at and you're kind of like, yeah, that guy just rubs me the wrong way. He really doesn't want the attention in terms of that. He's like kind of like calm, cool, collective about it. He said on multiple different shows, like, he doesn't feel like he's earned it. He said that at SEC Media Days. So let's talk about quarterbacks in this situation. We'll start with you here. You're rolling into this game. You can pick one of these guys to lead you into this week 1 opener. Who are you taking and why?
Arch Manning, and it's not really a question. I think Julian Zane's thrown 12 passes in his career. Now, Arch has thrown very little. I mean, the times we've seen Texas open it up have been against far lesser competition. In fact, and Arch has yet to throw a pass on the road. This game will be the first time he's ever attempted a pass in a road game. But it's Arch. I mean, Arch, you've got a ton of versatility. I mean, we've seen the arm, we've seen the legs, we know what he's going to bring. And, he's got a head coach and a play caller that understands him and knows his strengths. He's been around. He's waited his time. He and Steve Sarkisian have been around long enough to know what his strengths are. And Steve Sarkisian, one of the best play callers in the country, is going to consistently put Texas and put Arch Manning in good situations. So for me, that's an easy one. It's Arch Manning, and not just him, but what's around him.
Yeah. Ralph?
I agree with Will. I mean, in quarterback play, I take Arch Manning just because we've actually seen him play in the actual game. Now, Will's right. Has not played in the road game. But you see him take snaps in actual games where obviously it was run plays, design runs. He played at that whole Mississippi State and ULM game, which I know isn't great competition, but that's the only thing we get. Julian's saying we have not really seen play a game. It's just non-meaningful snaps. We don't know what he really is about because, he was great in high school, but that's the only tape you have on the kid right now. Yeah. And so you give it to Arch, obviously, because they are both highly talented quarterbacks coming out of high school, both 5 stars. Both, were SEC bound at one point. Saying obviously leaves Alabama after Saban left. So, there's question marks at both sides at quarterback. But if you had to choose one, I think Arch is the easy answer right now.
Yeah.
But, for what he has around him, I think Saban has the best receiver in college football. That's the best safety net to have.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I heard someone use this word, a pacifier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but if you're talking about overall talent, that we know of, Texas by far has the better talent around them that we know of. Because I don't know who Ohio State has at running back because he hasn't played nearly as much. I think it's James Peoples who it is.
Yeah, well, to your point, Ohio State lost 2 NFL starters in the offensive line, 2 NFL running backs. That's just offensively, around him what they have. Wide receiver, they're going to be pretty good. Can you play pitch and catch with them? And something that's also
they're going to be a little bit better than pretty good.
Oh yeah. Like they're going to be probably the best in the country. Like as a unit, it's very, very good. The question for me is, and I think it's an interesting battle, is Texas rolls into this game with kind of a new secondary options, but also new coaching staff on the back end. Terry Joseph gone, Blake Gideon gone off the back end of that defense. So, this is their first test, and what a test to roll into Columbus, Ohio against that receiving core, which you've mentioned, Will. They're going to be pretty good. That has to make life a little bit easier for Julian Sain. It's not, Jeremiah Smith is a dude, but they got some other guys that are really, really good in that room.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to step up. Texas is going to have 2 guys on Jeremiah Smith the whole game. I think it may not even matter. I think we're going to see both these teams air it out. I think it's going to come down to who runs the ball just a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting a long Jeremiah Smith touchdown at some point in this game.
Ridiculous, yeah.
I'm expecting a long touchdown pass from Texas. Not sure who it's going to be because you got Ryan Wingo, number 1 wide receiver for Texas. But, those young guys step up. The one that I'm looking for is a freshman, Jamie French. He certainly looks the part. But, again, true freshman. So we'll have to see. But – to me, I think it's got to be the running game. I think that'll be the difference in this game. We know both teams are going to throw it. I think that's going to be the strength of both of these offenses. But I lean toward Texas being better running the football because Ohio State's front 7. If there's a question mark for them, I think it's in the front 7 of that defense. Replacing Jack Sawyer's gone. JTT is gone out of that front 7. And again, how does that impact the pass rush? Are they going to be able to get to Arch Manning without those star players?
No Kelvin Banks for Texas, which maybe makes life easier. I don't know if you guys saw this. He was like the highest graded pass protector in the preseason for the NFL. So it's something down here in Baton Rouge fans are at least excited about the Saints this year. Good points. Very, very good points. I'll make one more point. We can kind of get to our picks against the spread presented by FanDuel. To me, the defense for Texas, you got a guy in Anthony Hill at linebacker who is a dang good football player, like really, really good linebacker. I'm also super high on Colin Simmons coming off the edge. I think one of the better – at the end of the year, we're going to say he's one of the better edge rushers in the country, if not a top 3, top 4 edge rusher in the SEC. And SEC's got some pretty good edge rushers this year entering conference or entering the 2025 season. So the defense for Texas, I think, for me, is the X factor. with what could happen in this game. And I'll just take it right here with it, fellas. I'm taking Texas to win this one. I guess you could call it an upset if you want to look at the point spread. Not really, though. I like the Longhorns. I trust Steve Sarkisian, like you said, Will. Dynamic offensive play caller. I think he's going to make life easy for Arch Manning in terms of where he could go. Don't forget, they've got a nice stable of running backs they have had for quite some time. Shout out Detroit Lions running back coach and former Georgia Tech guy, Tashard Choice, who's done a good job stockpiling talent there. So I've got Texas winning. I'm not going to tease anything on the over-under here because I don't want to touch that, but I do have the Longhorns winning. So, Ralph, your pick. What do you like in this? Maybe what's your X factor?
I've been back and forth for the last few weeks with this game because 3 weeks ago I probably said Ohio State. The thing about just in what they have around Arch Manning, what this defense has, what they brought back, a lot of talent defensively, especially in that secondary with Michael Taft. I think he's one of the most fun players to watch. One of the guys who plays the game right.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this running back room. It's a real solid running back room. You got C.J. Baxter at the number 2 running back, and that's insane because he's a solid number 1 running back at most colleges.
Yeah.
And then Will, you're talking about Ryan Wingo. We can't forget DeAndre Moore last year in that was that is it the Arizona State game where he makes that screenplay and goes 40 yards for a touchdown?
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't see where you don't go with Texas right here. I have to take Texas in this game. I battled this conversation for weeks. I have a friend who's an Ohio State fan who's trying to tell me why Ohio State, and he's probably right about it, but I just have to go Texas in this situation.
Will, we going SEC bias clean sweep here?
Who are you asking? Of course.
Where's the helmet?
Of course. Taking Texas to win, not just cover 1.5, but to win it. I think too many questions for Ohio State. Their offense is going to look completely different. I think, it helps when you have 2 NFL caliber running backs, but I think Chip Kelly was kind of the key calling plays for that offense a year ago. He's gone. Your NFL tailbacks are gone. Your quarterback's gone. The question marks in your front 7. I think there's just too much there for Texas to exploit, and I think they'll win this game. And if I'm thinking over-under, I'm thinking over. I think this could turn into a high-scoring game.
Last thing on this one, I think this is way more important than we even think it is, and it really is important, not just for the preseason rankings, but this is also pretty important when you look at what the playoff is valuing in terms of strength of schedule, reportedly. We'll see if that actually happens. But I don't think it's crazy to say that the loser of this is definitely working behind the 8 ball because Texas still has a trip to Athens. They've got a tough game, obviously, always, no matter how good Oklahoma is out there in Will's favorite place in the world, the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. And then the rest of the SEC schedule, Ohio State still has to play Big Ten football in terms of a couple teams that are tricky. They've got to go to Michigan, and then obviously they've got to play Penn State this year as well. So it's not a must-win game, but man, the momentum that you could really build off of this one is a big one. We all clean sweep take the Texas Longhorns on the road in Columbus. And by the way, shout out Lee Corso's final thing. We didn't really talk about that. That's going to be. Have you guys got a chance to watch the?
Watched it Saturday morning. Good cry.
That was good. That was really good.
Great cry.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't tear up until Kirk Herbstreit kind of teared up. Very emotional guy. That
whole segment got me. That whole part right there when they had all of them talking, like that one was good. That was a good part.
I saw the meme. It's weird you say this is a meme, but the meme of like the Ninja Turtles walking with their guy, and it's like that flipped rolls. I think it was cool for someone who really wasn't alive when it first began to know how much Corso. Like I never knew that stuff, to be honest with you. Like in terms of how he was really leading the charge and how it flipped. So a lot of fun stuff. I hate, and I'm going to say this because this is my show. I hate they didn't put I like how they said F it, that one. But when he calls a little dude a midget, sorry if you're offended by that, but it's what he said. I'm just repeating it. That was the one.
Not so fast, midget.
Yeah, when he just points at him.
Were they picking the Harvard Yale game?
I think it was in one of the Ivy League games they went to.
It's a child.
That's the best.
He called an 8-year-old child.
Have you seen the picture? Someone found him on Twitter and said, we need to bring him for the last game.
Yeah, that would be right. But do you know something else that can keep small things away from your house? All Natural BS. It's the bug spray that really, really works. Make sure that you check out All Natural BS. If you're tailgating this weekend, you're going to get swarmed by bugs down here in the Southeast. Get your order in. Use code TCB15. It's providing effective chemical-free solutions for your home, garden, patio, tailgate scene, wherever it is. They're our partners all season long, so check out All Natural Bug Spray. That really, really works. Okay, fellas, game number 2 on the docket. I'll be in the building, Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, the battle for Death Valley, I guess we'll call it here. LSU at Clemson. The Tigers, a 3.5-point favorite per FanDuel.
Which Tigers?
As of an hour ago. What did you say?
Make sure you specify which Tigers we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's true. Over-under set at 57.5. I just posted a pod on this over at the Bengal Tiger, but breaking news kind of coming out today, which is just another just ridiculous, greedy power move by the NCAA here. A.J. Halsey, starting safety, who has looked very good in fall camp, very sure tackler, was all Big 12 last year for Houston. First team Big 12, by the way, is going to be suspended for the first half because of an ejection last year that was originally a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Pete Thamel then reported it had been elevated to a fighting ejection. LSU did not even know that this was an ordeal. Compliance didn't know. The staff didn't know. Nobody knew this was a potential hurdle they'd have to clear until late Wednesday night. It picks up traction on Thursday. So the Tigers, the LSU ones, that is, we'll call them the Bayou Bengals for the sake of this game, they will be out without their starting safety, A.J. Halsey. They'll insert Deshaun Spears. That being said, obviously, I'm getting a paycheck from one of these teams, so I know you know what I'm talking about here. But this game to me, and we discussed this on the Bengal Tiger podcast, and it kind of goes back to what we talked about. It's the exact opposite in terms of quarterback play, what you're going to have. You don't really know. We think we know what Arch Manning and Julian Sain can be. You have two coming into the season, two of the better quarterbacks in the country, if not the top 2 quarterbacks in the country, facing off. Well, I go back to you, and we get to talk a little bit of quarterback play here. Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik. I want to ask you the same question I asked Bruni on the podcast. I think it might come down to who is the better overall quarterback in this game, and their team wins.
It very well could be, and I tend to agree with you. There's a reason why this over/under is set at 57.5, pretty high number, and it's both of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I love what both of these quarterbacks do. As much as we like to laugh about Garrett Nussmeier, in our group text.
Oh gosh.
He's great. Nussmeier's great. Klubnik's great. I think there's going to be a ton of points in this game, spearheaded by both of these quarterbacks. There's familiarity with both. I mean, both these teams are so similar. I'm kind of surprised that the spread is 3.5. Because we think about Ohio State and Texas. I feel like there's more differences in those teams, whereas these teams feel like they're closer to the same. I think this is going to be the game of the weekend. I think this is going to be a ton of fun either way.
I was talking about this with someone the other day, and for this game, for me, the biggest question mark comes down to, we've talked about this on this show for the past 2 years, can LSU's defense continue to improve? Second year Blake Baker, this is, and I'll say this, and I've been at every single fall camp practice, this is the best defense in fall camp we have seen. Garrett Nussmeier came out the other day and said this is the most competitive fall camp that he's been a part of since he has been there. Guys, my first year on the beat down here 2 years ago, we just thought the defense was absolutely terrible. They were. Lots of people like to refer to Matt House as a domestic terrorist, but it really also had to do with the fact that Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas were just beating everybody. This year, they've made vast transfer additions. They've stocked the edge room, Patrick Payton, Jack Pyburn, Jamari Butler. They've got Gabriel Rutherford coming off the edge. I could talk about and give you a synopsis on every single guy in this game. To me, it comes down to, can you create havoc and negative plays against an offense that needs to stay on schedule? Because to your point, Will, if they go straight shootout with LSU's wide receiving core being, I mean, you just look at it, not because of the EA ratings, the fastest in college football with what they have, LSU is going to be able to stretch the field. Clemson has a great defense. Wade Wood has Sammy Brown in the middle. They've got a number 1 or first round draft pick in Avion Terrell out there. The front 7 added Will Helt, TJ Parker, all of these guys they have. That's great. I think LSU is going to be able to get some points, though, with the way they could spread things out this year. They could not do that last year. It comes down to two things. Can LSU run the ball a little bit better in this game? And two, can the defense create negative plays? If LSU does that, I think they leave with a win. Ralph, what do you take away from that? Because I could talk for the next 25 minutes, and I've talked about it 55 times already today and this week. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, you basically just said everything about this game. Like, you truly did. There's nothing. I mean, I should have went second. You should have went last.
Yeah.
Look, I've watched a lot of your stuff, and I've heard a lot of stuff from you. LSU's biggest thing last year was goal line. Can't score. God. And you have to be able to score points in the red zone this year. And if they are competitive in the red zone and they score points, this team's going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
And you have a freak of nature at tight end named Trey'Dez Green. Throw it up there to him. Let him go up and get it, because he's gonna. There's no one's gonna out jump him. I mean, he's 6'5", right?
6'7".
6'7". Played basketball.
Had a nice dunk in Tuscaloosa last year, by the way.
He is a freak athlete. Let him go up there and go for the ball, because no one's gonna out jump him. The problem is you have no running ability with your quarterback. That's the only. You got a statue back there at quarterback, as Gavin would call.
He said it.
Gavin called him that. But look, here's the thing: you do have one of the best up and coming running backs. And I say up and coming because last year he wasn't showing off enough.
Yeah.
But this year, a fully healthy Caden Durham is one of the best running backs in the country and one of the top 3 backs in the SEC. I can't say who the top 2 are, but I mean, I'm putting him at top 3 right now.
Well, I could see you wanted to say something there, so I'm going to be quick here. What you just talked about is so important, because LSU, I mean, guys, the first game I ever covered for them, they get all the way down inside the 10-yard line with a guy like Jaden Daniels, who was the best player in the country that year, and 4 tries they can't get it in. And they've struggled so much getting it in the end zone. That is a massive issue. My worry, the counter to that is, in the past couple of years, LSU could not spread the field. Or I should say last year. They did 2 years ago. They couldn't open anything up. Teams could come down, load the box against them because they never had a deep threat. And then they couldn't run the ball, couldn't do those things. If you can open the downfield passing game, which I think you'll be able to with guys like Barry and Brown, Chris Hilton, who are downfield threats. Shout out Chris Hilton, as long as he doesn't jump 15 seconds before the ball gets to him, i.e. Florida last year. But if you're able to do that, that's going to open up the run game for an offensive line that is a question mark, especially at the guard position. So it's going to be interesting. Will, I don't know where you want to go with this. Do you want to talk offensive line? Because I got a question.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. You take it here. I've posed this question to the Bengal Tiger board and want to ask you here with this. Last year, LSU, we can all agree, I don't care if you agree or not, they're on rosters. They had 4 NFL guys on the roster, on starting offensive line. Center was a black hole, completely black hole. Would you rather have that, and this will be a case study through the year, or they get a center from Virginia Tech, Braylon Moore, who, by the way, that Virginia Tech offensive line had really good individual players, wasn't really good at blocking together, which is interesting. They have a center. They've got question marks elsewhere. Would you rather, and talk about offensive line here, have a center who can calm things down and direct traffic and question marks beside him, or have really good bookends, but the meat and potatoes, your center is completely overwhelmed?
You got to have a center. I mean, it was last season, maybe the season before, catching a lot of Cole Kublik's stuff.
Yeah.
How much he knows offensive line. He played center at Auburn, SEC center. So he knows offensive line. He knows how important the center position is. You know, as somebody that doesn't know offensive line, don't know ball, self-admittedly don't know ball, did not realize how important it was. So to me, you got to have a center.
Yeah.
I've seen it with Auburn the last 2 seasons with Connor Lube. He's, even as a freshman, he's so advanced at the position and just so football smart and savvy. He was able to, at least with the 2 guards next to him, able to calm things down, make the line look, I think, a lot better than what the talent that was there. So for me, you got to have center. The center, between center and quarterback, they figure out who the blitzer is and pointing guys in the right direction. Like you said, that was LSU's biggest problem. They got NFL talent, but they don't know where to go unless the guy's running straight at them. So that was the problem last year.
Yes, by the way, Ultima. Yes, massive difference. Alex Mack for the Falcons.
Yes. LSU's got to run the football. Mm-hmm. They have to. I think Caden Durham is too talented, too good of a player to not exploit that talent.
Yeah.
And so if LSU can run the ball, I think they can stay in this game. I think that'll help their red zone scoring big time. Everybody knows I'm the resident old man here. Line up and just run through somebody, and that starts with the offensive line, starts with a physical running back. Caden Durham can be physical. He's a guy that can run through you or run by you.
Yeah.
So short yardage, I don't have any questions about giving the ball to Caden Durham. They just got to block for him.
It'd be interesting because there's going to be a lot of instances where LSU has struggled in this the past couple of years. But when everybody in the building, including that opposing defensive coordinator, knows you need to run the ball to get 2 yards, can you still do it? They have not been able to do that. That's going to be the big thing there. And 2, don't become predictable. I mean, so many times last year on first and second down, they'd get 6, 7 yards. They'd get to 3rd and 3. They knew they couldn't run the ball, so they had to throw. And if you give a team like Clemson half the test answers, they're going to beat you by double digits. Like they're just a good. They're really good team.
Clemson is so good up front, and that front seven. They may not have to blitz, and they could put pressure on Nussmeier.
One thing we haven't talked about at all, but we talk about those guys. The addition of Will Helt for them creates what I think is a massive disadvantage for LSU because you're going to be, if you're Weston Davis, the right tackle, you're going to be on an island because you no longer can help or get help because they've got T.J. Parker and they've got all of these other guys and Peter Woods where there's not going to be a ton of help in terms of you might get a running back to chip. Like Ralph said, you might get, Trey Green might chip one time and go out and run a route, but I don't know, man. That front seven for Clemson is could be the X factor. If they cause havoc, it's going to look a lot, and I say this, a lot like that nightmare of a second half in College Station last year. I think that's what it could look like.
And the new defense coordinator, Tom Allen, for Clemson, I think is a perfect fit for that program, for that style. And, of course, he's got great players. I think he's a really good defensive coordinator. Clemson certainly on that side of the ball has potential to put up some fireworks on Saturday night.
Give me a fun one. All right, picks. What you got? We talked X Factors. We talked that. Ralph, start with you here. LSU, Clemson. Clemson, the 3.5-point favorite at home.
I'm taking Clemson. I just think what they have offensively with Cade Klubnik, who I have my dark horse this year for Heisman. I shouldn't say dark horse. I guess he is my favorite to win Heisman this year. Yeah. What they have receiver-wise, what they have with the offensive line, and then we talk about this defense. This front seven is one of the best, if not the best front seven in college football. Great secondary. And it's a hard place to play. I mean, no matter what you say, it's not the Death Valley. It's not the real Death Valley is in Baton Rouge. I've seen it now. I know what it is. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. Real Death Valley is in Baton Rouge. But this place gets loud. It's still they call it Death Valley for some reason, but it is a fun place to play for Clemson, and it's a great place. They have a great home field advantage. So I'm going Clemson, and I think they cover.
Will.
I think the A.J. Halsey suspension is a really big deal. It kind of changed the way I feel about this game. I had a slight lean toward LSU covering that 3.5. I'm going to go the other way now with Halsey missing in the first half. And Ralph, like you said, the environment. I think with the new faces on LSU's offensive line, certainly has the potential for a slow start. Seen it before. I'll talk about Auburn again. That 2017 Auburn team that turned out to be pretty good with a really good offensive line was horrible to start the season against Clemson. So that, and a lot of that has to do with the environment. I'm going to go Clemson, and then if you want me to talk about over-under, I lean toward the under. I really worry that this has potential for a shootout, and I'm more worried about LSU keeping up. I think LSU's got to keep this thing low scoring, keep it close, play some possession, keep the ball out of Clemson's hands, and put up points. You got to do both. Just because that Clemson defense, Nuss straight dropbacks for a lot of the night, I don't think is a recipe for success.
A couple other predictions from the Peanut Gallery. Aaron says Clemson. Dr. Bob says Clemson. Joe the Pilot says Clemson. Apparently, I'm going to be the intern head coach, by the way, one of the comments down here. Joe the Pilot says, Bryce, is this your first Clemson game at Clemson? Yeah, I mean, I went to a spring game 3 years ago. Not even close to that. Watch DJ Youth throw the ball around. Ultima says, I would take the home team, whether it's Baton Rouge or Clemson. This one is in the Foothills, so I'm taking the orange team. He also says Lake Hartwell. I'm going to be staying out somewhere.
You know what Clemson is, right? You know what they call it?
Auburn with Lakes. I've told so many LSU fans that, by the way, and it is very true, by the way. It is very, very true.
You know why Clemson's colors are purple and orange?
Because they couldn't be blue and orange?
Of course. I do this every time I start to tell a story. I forget, who it's about. This is like the 1900s when Clemson starting their program. They hired a coach that was previously at Auburn, and he was starting the football program. And his contacts at Auburn helped him out, sent him some old practice jerseys. They were navy, but they were faded, so they looked purple. So they picked up purple and orange, and that's also why they're called the Tigers.
Wow.
Clemson is Auburn Junior, if you will.
That's why you need to tune into War Eagle Wednesdays. LSU, Clemson. I'll give my pick right here. I'm taking Clemson to win this. I know. Shocking. The big thing for me is, a lot of people don't love SP Plus and all the Bill Connolly stuff. Clemson returns, I believe it's a top 5 returning production in the country. That matters. They're at home. This is the first time these guys for LSU, who I think are a very, very talented team, it's the first time they're playing together. Not the easiest thing to go do that and play against a top 5 team in the country on the road. So I've got Clemson winning in a close one. Like you made attention, if you watch my playoff, I got LSU winning in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff against Clemson in a bowl game somewhere. So hopefully that'll be at the Peach Bowl, by the way. All right, before we move on to our third game here, I got to shout it out because I did wear it on the pod earlier today, the Georgia Tech pod. Section 103 just dropped some amazing polos. Great quality, fantastic quality. In terms of the design, it's everything you want in terms of all the color schemes. If you're a Georgia Tech fan or an LSU fan, they're going to be adding some more schools here soon. This is where they have now, but from a performance standpoint, it's some of the greatest stuff you're going to get on the market, and it's way more affordable. It can be even more affordable if you use code TCB10 for 10% off your order today. All right, so back at it here. Game number 3. And we don't have to go as long on this one, fellas. We can get to our rest of our show tonight. Sunday evening at the Hard Rock Cafe in Biloxi, Mississippi. No, I'm just kidding. The Notre Dame, Miami, the Catholics versus the Convicts on Sunday evening on ABC. This one's going to be, I think, nostalgia for a lot of people. In terms of this game, Notre Dame enters as a 2.5-point favorite. Over-under set at 49.5 by our friends over there at FanDuel here currently on Thursday evening. Guys, I'll give you my thoughts, and then I'll go ahead and get them out of prediction here. We can roll through this. With Notre Dame and Miami, I think here's the biggest thing. In years past, and those were Brian Kelly-led teams, Notre Dame needed their quarterback to be better because the talent around them was just pretty good. Notre Dame lost a lot. They lost key pieces, no doubt about it. They need C.J. Carr to be a game manager to go win this game. I think Notre Dame's the more talented team on paper. I think they've got really, really good depth. They've got the best running back in college football in Jeremiah Love, or at least one of the best running backs in college football. Don't make mistakes if you're C.J. Carr. Play the field position game. Keep control of the football. Keep the tempo. Keep staying in front of the chains. To me, right there is – it's a perfect recipe. Notre Dame does not have to throw everything on C.J. Carr's shoulders to win this game. I've got the Irish winning, covering this spread. I like Carson Beck down there in Coral Gables. I completely get it. It's understanding of all of this. Miami was replacing a ton. I don't know if it gels in week 1. I think Miami's going to be pretty good. Luckily, this is not a conference game for them. I've got Notre Dame winning in a close one. The Irish are pretty well coached. I'll throw that last thing in there. They're going to be ready. Marcus Freeman's a dang good football coach, and he's going to have these guys prepared. So I've got the Irish winning, covering this spread at Miami. Will, what you got?
I really want to take Miami. I really, really, really want to take Miami. I like Miami. Just comparing position groups, I like Miami at quarterback. I think that can make a huge difference in this game, but I am going to go Notre Dame for those same reasons you said. Marcus Freeman, incredible coach. Those players play for him. You know, they're working in a new quarterback, but that defense is going to be ready to go. They're going to be stifling. Miami's replacing a ton on offense. I think that's where the edge is. I think you got to go with defense. Defense travels. I think Notre Dame has a better defense no matter where they're playing. So I'm going Notre Dame.
Ralph, clean sweep of the Fighting Irish here?
I'm always the one who loves to say save the graphic. And normally I do, but I don't think I can. I've been going over this depth chart, just looking at who they have and who he's throwing to. CJ Daniels is up there, and he's a very talented receiver, in my opinion. But Jaden Greathouse, Jordan Faison, and Malachi Fields, I think, are way better. Guys that played together last year. CJ Carr obviously is not who they had last year at quarterback, but I still think he's good and is going to be able to get the ball to these guys. Let them be playmakers. I like Notre Dame in this situation. Someone said in the chat a minute ago, Miami can't fill those stands up. It's not going to be loud there. So it's a Sunday night game. It's not a Dolphins game. They're not excited for it. You know, Miami fans have been. That's fine. I hope they bring more fans.
You know what this means? Cap. It's going to be a sellout crowd.
Good. Finally, but the first time in forever. Put the stadium back on campus, please. Get them.
It's never been on campus.
Well, put it on campus. Put it closer to campus. They got to travel to go to their own home games. I'm taking Notre Dame. Taking them to cover the spread. I trust Marcus Freeman to do more than what Cristobal's done. He can't figure out how to kneel the ball. So
Freeman's a better coach. Freeman is a better coach. I think coaching is going to make a difference in this one. So clean sweep. Put the graphic up. Irish. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
This one's going to be close, though. I don't think this is a Notre Dame blowout. I really like Miami's offensive line. Ton of experience. Markel Bell at left tackle, senior. Ryan Rodriguez at left guard, senior. James Brockermeyer at center, senior. Inez Cooper at right guard, senior. Francis Mawagoa at right tackle, junior. Ton of experience, ton of snaps. Yeah. They're going to be good. And they're going to have to be because we know how good Notre Dame's defense is.
I think Carson Beck is going to be unreal in this game. I think CJ Carr is going to be good, and I think Notre Dame is the more sound football team right now. And that's why I think Notre Dame wins. But to your point, Miami's got the opportunity. I know we say it every year. Miami's got the opportunity to be really, really good, though. Like, it's just got to take time to gel.
Just take a knee, Mario. Just take a knee.
Just take a knee. There you go. That's all. All right, fellas. That's our 3 games that we are rolling with and picking. Got some good comments in the comment section there of who you're going with. Let's talk about games to watch here real quick, and just maybe a game that we're just kind of excited to see. But we're picking one apiece, not spending a ton of time on this one before we get to our best bets. The game for me, and Will's going to be there, it's not the first one. It's actually the second one. Virginia Tech, South Carolina, to me, because South Carolina's gotten so much hype. Lenora Sellers, people have stood on business for him as saying that he should be the number 1 quarterback in the country. Tools-wise, he's probably got the raw ability. He's just not maybe as refined as the Nussmeier or the Cade Klubnik in passing the football. This is one you can't slip up. Like, South Carolina wants to have a big year. They felt like they were jabbed out of a playoff spot last year, regardless if you agree that or not. You've got to go win this game. I said this on the earlier live show about Georgia Tech feeling and thinking like they were a playoff contender. If South Carolina feels like they're a playoff contender, this is one that you take care of business against. On the other side, massively disappointing season last year for Kyron Drones, who does not average over 4 yards a carry, and Brent Pry. I think Brent Pry's on the hot seat this year to do something other than just going to the Military Bowl. You've got to be able to showcase you've got something there. They return a decent amount, but they also lose some really big pieces off of that team last year. Can Kyron Drones take the next step, be the leader for this team, and score a massive win over an SEC team in Atlanta? I'm not picking one way or the other. I just think this game is – if this wasn't week 1, Like if this is a week 2, week 3 game, it would have way more eyes on it. And it still will because it's in a prime slot, I guess, on Sunday by itself. But I think there's a real big opportunity for this game to be a launching pad for both of these teams in what they both hope is a massively improved 2025 season. So that's the game that I've got circled. Will, did I take yours, or is what you got here? What game are you watching?
Go ahead and make sure you get a cup of coffee in after the LSU Clemson game. We're going old school, Pac-12 after dark, Cal at Oregon State. A lot to unpack in this game. Probably not a whole lot of offense because Oregon State not great. Cal's offense run by a guy that doesn't like football. Are they playing the true freshman that somehow got out of his scholarship at Oregon? He's starting, right? The Hawaiian kid. I don't know how to say his name.
Jaron, something.
I'm not even going to try to butcher it. So true freshman quarterback there.
First Malik Murphy.
Against Malik Murphy, that is correct. Mm-hmm. For obvious reasons, I'll be paying close attention to Cal. For hate watching reasons, I did bet under on their win total, under 5.5 wins, and I hated doing it because I really like Justin Wilcox, but Justin Wilcox, you
were high on him last year.
You really disappointed me with one bad hire, and I'm afraid it's going to cost you your job at Cal. And I think you've done a nice job, but you just can't get players there.
Ron Rivera in the front office of that team, by the way.
Say that again.
Isn't Ron Rivera in the front office of that team at Cal?
Is he really?
I'll look it up. Keep talking though.
I know he's with a college, but I don't know I can't remember if it's Cal or not. But that was all I was going to say. GM. Old school Pac-12 after dark.
Cal GM Ron Rivera, by the way.
And I can't. And did he sign off on the offensive coordinator hire?
You just lost respect for Riverboat Ron, didn't you?
I could never. He and Cam Newton somehow willed the Carolina Panthers to a Super Bowl.
There you go. Makes Gavin excited in the background. All right, Ralph. I went with an SEC ACC clash. Will goes with just debauchery after dark. And what do you
already know where I'm swinging?
That should be a whole segment. Why, by the way, that's Crowded Booth after dark, debauchery after dark. Cheers to the winners.
Cheers to the winners.
What you got?
You already know where I'm swinging at. This is good.
We're going to Troy Nichols. I'm getting off the show.
Absolutely not. We are saying the Sun Belt though. Mississippi State travels to Southern Miss.
I'm glad I didn't take yours because joy. I'll be watching that game.
Look, year 2 under Jeff Lebby. I like Jeff Lebby a lot. I want him to do really well at Mississippi State. Look, I've said it time and time again on this show. They have been put in the worst spot.
Oh yeah,
and I want them to be back because I think Mississippi State is fun when they're good. I hate the cowbells, but it's a fun place to watch people play it. Because if I don't have to see Troy go there and play, I'm fine. But they have just lost so much over the years that it's just constant turnover after turnover in that college. Southern Miss, you're playing basically Marshall from 2023 or 2024. Yeah. It was basically the same team, and you're going to there where they can rock that stadium. They can get that place rocking. They call it the Rock for a reason. Southern Miss at home upsetting an SEC team week 1 would do numbers for the Sun Belt. And that's why I'm choosing this game, because I do believe there's an upset in the midst.
That was on my short list for best bet. So
and I told you to take it because we also talked about another school that might get upset this weekend.
Congratulations to everybody because I did not make it my best bet. So congratulations.
There you go.
Before we get to those, should we educate the viewers and show them that I do know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Go ahead. Pull it up.
So Aaron Holland disagreeing with me. Clemson used to be a military school, so the purple represents that. I got something for you. Pull it up so I can actually read it. SB Nation, this article, I mean, this is a story I've heard before, but this was the first site that I'd heard talk about it. This is from 2017 before Auburn and Clemson played. It's talking about how similar Clemson and Auburn is. Per Clemson, the school's first 3 football coaches were W.M. Williams, John Penton, and Walter Riggs. Were all Auburn graduates. Riggs left Auburn in 1896 to franchise the program at Clemson. and I need to find where this quote is, where they got this from. But it says, he, Riggs, brought some old Auburn practice uniforms with him, orange jerseys and Navy jerseys, that because of washboard washings were no longer navy and orange, but looked more purple and orange. He also brought the name Tigers with him and named his brand new football team the Clemson Tigers. He chose orange as the dominant color because those jerseys weren't quite as faded as the Navy ones. From that time forward, Walter M. Riggs has been known as the father of Clemson football. So,
yeah.
In case you didn't know,
Will knows ball.
I do know what I'm talking about.
All right.
As we like to joke, I probably shouldn't say that word. My expertise is very specific. Historical things, baseball things.
You sometimes find yourself on a spectrum, is what you're trying to say. That's fine. I proceeded to tell the entire LSU beat that we're all on the spectrum the other day, so it's fine. So it doesn't matter. Okay, let's get our best bets real quick. We've got the graphic. Quickly talk about them, and then we'll end the show and get ready for week 1 of college football. By the way, Cincinnati beating Nebraska at the end of the first quarter 3-0. So there we go. All right, here we go. Will lead us off. I don't even hate this one because I tried to tell someone on the message board today that Georgia is noted for not covering against teams like this. You look up and the score is like 27-11 at the halftime or something like that. So you got Marshall, Georgia. Is that the reasoning? Like, I mean, what? Just talk to me here.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby Smart does not care about point spreads. It doesn't matter. I mean, what? The worst team in FBS covered the spread against Georgia. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago when they won the Natty.
Kent State, worst team in the country, covered the spread against Georgia. So, I mean, like you said, we'll look up at halftime. It'll be 28-3, and we're kind of like, oh, Georgia doesn't look all that great. And then all the backups play, and then they still win like
42-13,
41-16 or something. Like, I mean, it's something disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's really where it comes from. I think Georgia, 35 or more should be on the card.
There we go. Ralph going with
the future all Auburn head coach. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say it, but you did. So Tulane
minus 5.5. Find out where I'm sitting after the game tomorrow night.
I'm taking Tulane. First game back at home this year for them. Ended the season with a sour taste in their mouth. Obviously, going to Florida and playing Florida in the bowl game and just get torched the entire game.
Yeah.
Obviously, they lost a lot with Darian Menza. They finally get a quarterback in the portal. Took them a while because they were leaning on a quarterback that I had no faith in the entire world in TJ Finley, who might be the worst option at quarterback ever. But Tulane, I think, at home against Northwestern. Northwestern's not been, very good in the past. They do have a good quarterback this year, who I thought was going to be the guy at SMU last year, and we were all very wrong. So I'm taking John Summerall at home to cover 5.5 against Northwestern.
Real quick here, I'm looking at something. I think the graphics messed up. Tulane is hosting Northwestern.
Yeah,
and TCU is at North Carolina. Okay, just want to make sure. We're trying to see that. Or North Carolina is hosting TCU. I'm sorry.
I thought the game was at TCU.
No.
Because next year the game's in Ireland, and I thought North Carolina was giving up a home game to play in Ireland.
No, it's
at North Carolina. Yeah, it's in
Chapel Hill. Yeah.
We haven't updated one? Gavin's that updated?
There we go. That's the well, no, that
no, it's not updated.
Yeah, it is.
It is updated.
Okay, never mind. I hit it by accident. That's my fault.
I've got TCU minus 3.5 against North Carolina. It's almost 60 new players for the Tar Heels at home. I get it. Gio Lopez was named the starter. TCU might have a Furry as their quarterback, but they return so much production. And I just kind of think there's something. What do you say?
Got to put it on the record right now. My views and sometimes the views of this podcast, I'm not in agreement with. Pony up. I could never pick TCU for any reason.
I was wondering where you're going with this.
Yeah, I know.
Pony up. We hate TCU. I don't like TCU.
Yeah.
I think Sonny Dykes is.
Oh boy. We're never invited to Fort Worth. We got to stay in.
Listen, we drove to Fort Worth. That's fine.
We did.
It's a long way away.
TCU returned so much. 3.5 point favorites on the road is quite intriguing to me. I'm taking the Horned Frogs, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. By the way, I'll tell you one thing. If we all hit this 3, we need to start just creating our best bets and then a parlay we like. Because, I mean, we're kind of rocking with what we're going on. But that's our best bets for week number 1 of college football. And, fellas, it is finally here. We're going to be able to watch college football, like I said, all weekend long. We hope you join us in the conversation over on Discord. Follow us on all the social media platforms there as well.
You can't talk to me on Discord because your favorite team doesn't have 9 national championships. So, sorry.
We will be live tomorrow night on an undisclosed time because
3 a.m. when Bryce finally.
I will be live at some point. I've already told the person. I'm not going to say that out loud. I've already told the person that I'm traveling with that I'm going to be live. So regardless if you're asleep or not, I'm going to be live.
You're going to be passed out.
If you want a possible preview of what I'm going to be looking like, open up Twitter, search NJ Tank 99.
Friend of the show, by the way.
He is a friend of the show.
No free shout outs.
Yeah.
Will doing his best Ralph impression.
I fly maybe not more than Bryce, but I fly all the time.
I've flown once in the last 8 years.
We know, Mr. First Class.
All right, that doesn't need to be shared.
Ralph was drunk on the flight.
That's not true. That's so not true.
That's wild. Listen, hey, make sure you like the stream.
With him.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of people watching on X. Come over to the YouTube. We'll appreciate you. Joe the Pilot. Trill's trying to work on that deal to get you to be the official pilot of the Crowder Booth and take us to Memphis to go to the Pyramid. We will catch you next time. Like, subscribe, and man, we'll see you tomorrow night. Set up notifications so you know when we go live. Ralph, Larry, Will Manis. My name is Bryce Koon. Thanks so much for watching.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.